Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's live Zoo to You. We are here live at Franklin Park Zoo at the Prairie Dog habitat. My name is Jessica with the education team, and I have a very special guest joining us today. This is Erica, who is a keeper here at Children's Zoo and helps take care of the prairie dogs. So we're very excited to welcome Erica today to tell us a little bit about the prairie dogs, because we did recently this spring have pups, which is very exciting. So I am going to turn it over to Erica, and we will hopefully get to see the pups and the prairie dogs a little bit closer here too.
Well, good morning, everyone. These are our black-tailed prairie dogs, and they're found in the western United States. We have 11 right now. We have 4 adults and 7 pups that were born this spring. So the pups were born probably around March or April, and then we start to see them come out towards the beginning of May, end of April time frame. They're born down in the burrows that all of the colony of prairie dog makes. All of these tunnels that you see in the exhibit, those were all burrowed by the prairie dogs. We don't have to do anything. They create their own home, but the pups will be born down there and they'll stay down there for a month or two, and then they'll venture out into the wide world. And now they're getting pretty big. They're almost the same size as the adults. The one that's sticking out of the tunnel right over there is actually one of our pups, whereas the one that's eating from the bowl is one of the adults. These guys eat a variety of different foods. In the wild, they would eat lots of like grasses and things like that. They're actually responsible for keeping the areas where they live in the western United States grazed, so they'll actually contribute to that ecosystem. Here at the zoo, they get a variety of different greens, as well as sweet potato and apple and carrots, and then a specially prepared rodent pellet. These guys are pretty cool. They have some really complex social structures. So within the exhibit, we actually have 2 to 3 different family groups, and they will be territorial with each other. But they have a variety of different communications. They'll communicate with each other with, barks and grunts and things like that. But then they'll also, within the whole colony, will alert each other towards danger. So if they might see a hawk going up overhead, they'll sound an alert call, and all of the prairie dogs will all run to the nearest tunnel and head underground, safe from the predator. And we see that here even at the zoo, where they're relatively safe.
We don't have any questions yet, but someone has asked in the past, how come they don't burrow out?
So this exhibit is specially made for the prairie dogs. It's actually a concrete pit that's just filled with this special mix of sand and dirt that they like to burrow in, but they can't burrow through the concrete. So they won't be able to dig themselves out of the exhibit, but we do provide lots of room for them to make their huge, elaborate network of burrows.
And if anyone does have any questions, you can put them live into the chat box, and we will try and answer them for you here. Or if we don't catch you live, then we can try and answer them later on Facebook for you.
So this elaborate network of burrows, they have different chambers for different purposes. They have chambers where they all use the bathroom. They have chambers where they'll store their food. They have chambers where the pups are born, and other things like that. You start to see them coming out now.
Do you find that they come out at a certain time of day or more active at certain times of day?
Well, I was just in there putting out their food, and they tend not to be out when I'm in there. So right now they're like, okay, it's safe. The weird keeper lady is gone. So they're starting to come back out, but they are active pretty much throughout the day.
Here's a question, can you tell them apart?
Me personally, not so much. So In order to identify them, we microchip them just like you would your dog or cat at home. So they each have a unique microchip, and if we need to like do a medical procedure on them or something like that and identify them, we'll use that microchip.
Robert wants to know what happens with the bathroom burrows. Do you have to go in and clean that out?
They do that all themselves, just the same way that they would in the wild. They're pretty self-sufficient animals, which is really nice for a keeper.
How long does it take for the babies to be full grown?
So they'll be full grown within a year.
Awesome. Any other questions? Feel free to add it to the chat. Well, thanks, Erica. This has been really fun.